Hey, welcome back. Glad you could make it. We're out in High Tunnel B for the last time before we just let it grow. We are going to put our row covers on our strawberries today, and we are also going to lay our new 4-foot piece of ground cover at the entrance and bid this good night for a few weeks. Everything's growing very nice. I'll flip you around. There's strawberries, first row. Come over to the second row, and we're starting to see some growth pop out. Fly you through it. Coming along. Boy, that first row though, just about 1 week in the ground for these, and you can tell they're popping. And come over to the raspberries, and I believe you can start to see some growth. They're popping out. We're probably maybe a week away from substantial growth in the raspberries. It's just amazing when you put this inside of a high tunnel how much quicker they come alive. Next time you see these, they will have leaves on them. Just a matter of a couple weeks. So let's get busy. We'll start putting the hoops in and finishing that, pulling the crop cover, and finish the end work. Stay tuned.
We're in High Tunnel B today, putting some finishing touches on this one before we pretty much put it to bed for about a month. It's almost the end of March. We finished planting all the strawberries, which you saw. We did go ahead today and put the row cover on. This is a thin white fabric that will protect the new plants. It's almost like a high tunnel within a high tunnel, so it does provide just a little bit of extra protection from frost or anything like that. I'll lift it up. You'll see they are starting to jump already. These have been in, we just planted these about a week ago. Been getting some water, so they are starting to jump already, which is awesome. We need this crop cover, or the fabric, so that if we do get any frost, then it will protect the blossoms that we might have here soon. Today we're just, like I said, putting some finishing touches on this high tunnel. We put some new clean new black fabric down. Try to keep everything pretty clean in here as much as we can. We are growing food after all. So that's pretty much all we're doing in here today, is taking care of just a few final touches. This one is just about done to walk out the door and leave it for about a month or so. Todd will be, he's activated water once or twice, but we're supposed to get some cold weather here pretty soon in the next couple of days, so we had to turn that off. So these will just kind of sit and do their thing.
We're just putting the final touches on it. She calls it lipstick on a pig. I kind of took offense by it. But we got our new 4-foot entryway all laid out. Looks good. Probably will take that table out. We're not going to have a table in here anymore. Take the garbage can out. But for the most part, this is ready to go. You've seen it from the beginning to now. But I will say this. What we have done in here up to this point, chances are when I come in here tomorrow, it's going to be just as I left it. Opposed to planting them outside, you have Mother Nature, you have animals, pests. We're going to take you along with the whole production year. We'll see how it turns out. This is Todd. Very Good Life. See you tomorrow. Hey, welcome back. 25th of March. And we are having to get back into High Tunnel A, which is the first high tunnel that we built 5 years ago. And it's all been cleaned out. Ground is all worked up. And now we just have to flatten it out and start rebuilding the rows. And it's kind of funny. I wanted to show you this high tunnel. We actually bored the holes with a post hole digger, and the holes are still there. I would advise, if you didn't have to use a post hole digger on a high tunnel, don't. And in fact, we don't do it anymore. We drive them all down with either a sledge or the tractor. But we'll cover all that up, all those holes, build it up, and start work on laying out the groundwork for this. We have approximately about 5 days before we need to start planting the rest of the strawberries in here. And basically the push is we will be buying probably 6 flats of tomatoes and putting in here about the 10th of April. So, and that's, yes, I know, awful early for Michigan. But because it's a high tunnel, and if it's going to freeze, we can put a little heat in here using propane heater, and we can get a big jump on them if we put them in certainly by the 15th of April. So let's get busy. Now the first thing I'm going to do, though, before I speed this up, is that is my head assembly for the water. There's actually 2 independent systems, one for overhead, which we probably won't even be using this year, and then one for the drip line on the ground. And as I had mentioned before, it was all 5 years old, so we ripped out the main line. So I'm prepared to put another main line in, and I like to run that right at the edge of 4 foot from the wall all the way down. So I'll hook that up, trim it, and put a couple ground stakes into it to hold it where I need it, and make sure it's square with the end of the high tunnel, or it'll drive me crazy. So here we go. Well, you've seen us laying it out. We got all the way around it. An awful lot of mud today. Not real fun. But we're just about done for today. And show you what Jess is doing. The first flag is where the walk ends. The second flag is where the second walk begins. The space in between is 28 inches, and that is exactly our planting width that we need. So we'll just get a little jump on it here, and Jess will put those 2 flags in. So basically we got our first row laid out. But neither one of us are too excited to be in here in the mud. better than being outside in the mud.
You watched us probably smooth out as much as we could in the middle. The reason we do that, it doesn't need to be perfectly smooth, but I will tell you, when you're walking after we put the ground cover and the walkways in, if you are walking and you encounter a good sized hole, it definitely jars your senses. So we just try to make it as level as possible, and then water doesn't puddle anywhere, and it makes it easier to walk on. What was my measurement?
54, I think.
This is where we run into problems. Can't
A little skinny.
that one.
Well, let's just,
You want to check that?
we'll go over. Rigby, what was the measurement? Whoa, whoa, whoa. We taught you how to read. 54 from the wall walk. 54. I don't know, you could have told us that. You're at least in the dry dirt now.
This one's not dry. On the wall.
A little wet.
Oh, I found a hole.
Oh. Yeah, maybe we'll fix that. Well, we're done with that. And I think we're going to call it a day, don't you, Jess? She likes playing in the dirt. Never did get out of the sandbox. We're right back in it. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and we will go in and put a log on the fire. It's supposed to freeze tonight down into the high 20s. So I've got the water turned off and everything is drained so we don't do any damage. And we'll pick this up tomorrow, or probably a couple days, and you'll see us planting in here first of next week. Thanks for stopping in today.